Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Dicey Dungeon. Let's continue. We're doing the Reunion DLC, which is basically 6 extra episodes, this time playing as a witch, and then a lot of extra animation, which honestly is not really that worth it. Inherently, I have seen this happen with other game quote-unquote developers, where it's a small team, sometimes often one person, and then all of a sudden they realize that their skill is more in animation, more in what they think is good writing often, or what more in background art or music. Not so much in level design or gameplay mechanic designs, or even programming. It is pretty unlikely that you would be good at every aspect of developing a game, certainly, so it's not surprising. And I am making an assumption, certainly, that they realize that they're better at art, but you can definitely see it in the development of a lot of games, where all of a sudden the art becomes just such the focus, and then the gameplay is nothing. Yeah, you definitely see it in adult games, porn games, because the art is 100% emphasized in that, with there being no gameplay mechanic or very minimal gameplay mechanics, and their audio probably not being very much of anything either. But yeah, definitely you can see they love these characters and they loved animating these characters, and then it's just kind of throwaway to make new levels and new complicated systems. There are somewhat complicated systems, so it's not crazy that they didn't add another 36 levels in 2 years as far as DLC or make a new game. They should have made a new game with 36 more levels, but yeah, that would have been difficult. You would have had to have probably come up with 6 new character classes, and probably about 100 plus new pieces of equipment. Maybe some generic gameplay mechanics in general, like luck manipulation or infinity cubes that count as any number, or just re-rolling, doing something different. Anyways, let's hop in. Little Witch, always my favorite. Revealed by viewers, but reviled by viewers, but beloved by me, and isn't that what counts? Actually, nowadays I'm beloved by viewers as well. Remember how my heart's desire was to get 10 million followers? Only vaguely, to be honest. It's been a while. Yeah, well, yep, I've just topped 14 million. Would you believe it? I've got everything I've ever dreamed of. Fame, acclaim, renown, popularity, fans, praise. Those are the same thing. I know, and I've got all of them. Well, I guess you just don't need me anymore then. Well, which is perfect, because actually I never liked you all that much. Let's see how you get on against my real favorite. Now there's a girl that knows where her loyalties lie. Interesting. So, seems like we are just straight up fighting Madison in this DLC. Which, yeah, I was not expecting like a 5-minute fight here. And that definitely screams that they've just run out of ideas. Also, I'm recognizing now at the end of this series that the audio has been too loud. I'd say maybe the audio is just not balanced that much anyways. So, we seem to have only 3 health and 0 dice. So it seems like we're just going to lose. I mean, I don't know how you wouldn't lose. I'm Madison, and I'm the Dicey Dungeons Spelling Bee champion for 4 years, for the 4th year running. Get ready for vanquishment. VANQUISHMENT, vanquishment. So just like a joke here. So you do this. This has to be a puzzle. Then you do this. then you do this and this. Use all equipment and dice to inflict stun. Riddle does 1 damage, Conundrum creates a new puzzle. So we had just done puzzles before. What's weird here is return 2 of the difference between the dice. If it was 3 minus 3, you should get 0, not the division or whatever dividend, whatever the word would be mathematically. If you divided 3 by 3, you'd get 1. Okay. That seems to me like this is just a collection of puzzles. Okay. Retries would be restored, and we have a skip button now. You get a skip charge each time. So this really is just a collection of puzzles against a boss, which... Let's just turn the sound down here at this point. There's just no point. We'll just have it slightly in the background. Alright. So, you're only going to be able to activate all equipment and inflict stun if you can activate Mastermind 4 times. Just doesn't seem like that's going to happen. I duplicate a 5 here, because that's really your only option. Then you bump this up. And then I could get a 1 here. Let's see. I don't think there's anything that you can really do to this. Just like, I repeat next action. Then you can't do anything. End up with a 6. Bump only goes +1. So unless the move was to do this and do this. And then no bump here, so you could either end up with duplicate 6. One minus 6 is 5. So I could get 2 5s. That gives you 4 5s. So that does get you close to what you would be looking for. So maybe you duplicate the 5s, then you bump this up, then you do this, then you do this, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they're stunned, disables a random dealing card, which you almost certainly would assume that disables Riddle every single time. If not, it would disable creating a new puzzle. But she has 2 dice anyway, so like, what does it matter? So it is just disabled, she can't unstun it. So you have 3 chances, or honestly, you probably have only 2 chances to screw up. And if you screw up any more than that, you are ruined. So we need 4 5s to begin with. We need to use hook shot, probably. Let's see. If I reduced a 5 down to a 4, or a 6 down to a 5, then a 5 down to a 4, then flip the 4 upside down, it would be then a 3. Still really doesn't get you to the difference there. Almost certainly you're using 1 6 to use the hook shot. The question just comes down to where. If anything, it seems like hookshot you do right before you do vice grip, which would mean you would need 2 dice to do that. And that just doesn't seem reasonable. These puzzles just kind of feel like they are super difficult versions of the puzzles in the previous run. And they definitely feel out of place now that you just have a whole boss fight full of puzzles that probably should have been just one of these puzzles at random at the end of that last run. Definitely feels like they were stretching for content here. Let's see. Well, the main thought would be to do just this, then make 2 5s and be done with it. Because I don't see a way you have a 1 and a 6 to return the difference between 2 dice. And that's really the only way you would get a 5 is a 1 and a 6. Or I get down to a 2 and then flip it. Which I don't see a way you get down to a 2 either. Oh, I see what happens now. Didn't see the part where it rolls a 1. I have no idea how that worked, but it worked. So I'll just take that victory and move forward. And since you're doing about 40 damage each turn, like, there really is only 5 puzzles here. Of course, you run into a problem now that if I was to exit to the main title, you couldn't do that cheat again. Must equal 5. Next equipment plus 1 turn. Dice value -1. 3 uses this turn. Duplicated dice. Roll 2 5s. She could be taken down to 4s. Let's see. I think you do this, then you duplicate this, then you take this down to 1, then you do this, then you take that down to 1, then you take that down by 1, then you duplicate again. Like 2 more turns, basically. And I guess if you were doing very poorly, that means there probably are 2 puzzles at the end here that you might miss. Because if you had only done like no damage on the first one, then her health would have obviously reflected that, and you could fail twice, but on the 3rd time you would take that damage and lose. So good players here are going to miss, I would say, at least 1 puzzle. And so now we need 3 3s. We can spatula plus for a 6, and then duplicate duplicates. 6 getting down to a 3. Let's see. That, and that. Flip the dice upside down, and then that, and then just duplicate that, and duplicate that. There was something more to this, obviously. Because I need to use that other flip to inflict stun, or you just take 1 damage. And you know what? I just don't care enough about this game to do it the right way. So I'll just take the 1-hit damage and hope to win the next turn. Like, yeah, I just can't imagine that I would care. And since we haven't used skip, the fact that there is a skip also just kind of points to the fact that there has to be probably 3 or 4 extra dice. Need 1s, so flipping a dice upside down to a 2. If we flipped it, we couldn't make a duplicate, so we kind of have to start with that. We could do a 10 combination here. And that's probably right. That's that. And then if we flip the 4 down, flip the 6 upside down, you have 1. Flip the 4 upside down, you have 3. 1 and 3 would give you a 2. We need 2 1s. Is there any way to get 2 1s at this point? No, we would need a 6. And I can't even win here because I can only do 2 damage. It's like they are cheating in favor of you seeing all of the puzzles. Let's see. Let's see. 3 minus 6 would be 3. 1 minus 4 would be 3. So you can only really get a 2 or a 3. Let's just retry. Right. Still really don't have a choice though. You have to start with 5s. 5 minus this would be 2. This then would give us a 1 and a 6. Which then we could flip upside down. Which then you can flip upside down here, but you've lost the game at that point. So we'll try skip instead. And even doing skip, it's still really only giving us 2 uses. So maybe the puzzle's a little bit easier, but probably not by much. Let's see. We could reduce the value twice if we could get to 5s. Which we kind of can't. I would assume the move is to do this first. And then that would just give me a 6 and a 1. I could get a 2. And then a 6 and a 2 would just give you a 6 and a 2. Two reductions from this would get you to a 4. I guess the question here is, how do you get further in that? Like you do a 1 and a 1 and then you just have a 2. Then you do a 6 and a 2. And then you just have a 6 and a 2. You do that. And then you do that. Oh, I see what I messed up on. Okay. So not too far off. You do this. And then you do this. Then you do this. Again, I didn't read past the comma, so I didn't see the part about rolling a well, actually, I don't know how you do this, come to think of it. Yeah, I would need another combined dice. So I'm about to lose. I probably need... See, if we did this instead, and this instead, and then bump this, see, that's wrong too. Like, yes, this does 20 damage, but I lose. Because I just don't stun. We have one more try. So do this once. Then you basically have to do this a second time. So then I guess yeah, I just don't see it. I don't see a way that you use all of these pieces. At some point I would have had to have gotten this down to a 4, added a 5, and then reduced it. Or added it to a 5 and then reduced it down to... Yeah, I don't see it. I just don't see it. Let's give it the college try and just see if maybe somehow we survive here. See, this just like sucks because now you're just back, starting over from the beginning. 30 minutes down the drain because of really, really difficult puzzles in a game that is not a puzzle game. Double the dice value, duplicate a dice. We need 3 uses of a 2. And you have to use all your dice. So 4 doubling gives you a 6 and a 2. We need then this, and then this, and then that. So it starts off somewhat easily. So I'd almost assume that there is a category here. It is possible that there's the last puzzle that I just did before this is actually impossible, and the trick is to not make it to that puzzle by getting perfect solutions in every fight before this point. Okay. Dice value +1, flip a dice upside down. I mean, this would give you a 4 that you could then bump up to a 5. Or gives you a 5, which then you can bump up to a 6. I don't know how we're gonna get Midnight Charmer here to work for us. Guess you flip this to a 5. Then you repeat next action. Then you... Why did that not repeat next action? Okay. Five. Do this. And then do this. And then I guess repeat next action this way. Bump that. Bump that. Do that. Somehow I ended up with an extra 6. And honestly, I just don't care. I just don't care enough to try that again and not take that 1 damage. This is totally not the game they promised up until this point. And yes, this is free DLC, and I guess at a certain level that is good that it's free DLC, because otherwise there would be a real problem. But yeah, I am definitely not satisfied at all. Double a dice value. Why would I want to duplicate that? Unless I just wanted to get to something. Split evenly is going to be the killer. You can't really do that with a 5. So it's either the 4, which then would give us a 6 and a 2, which then would give us a 6 and a 2, or yeah, or a 3. I kind of think the puzzle might be split it into 2 3s, then combine it back into 2 3s. Yeah. And I've only been playing this game for like 30 minutes, and today is a brand new day. I haven't played in a couple days, and I'm already frustrated with this game. Right. 6 and a 3 there. Right, so that gives us 3 out of the 4 things. Well, let's see if this works. 12 to repeat next action. That would mean this does it twice. And that's wrong. So let's try it again. Split that evenly. Combine those. Six, 9, 12. And then they would just give me a 6 at the end. Yeah, you've got to do something faster than this. Okay. 12 here. Double dice value. giving you 2 6s, split evenly. One more try. Double this dice value first, so you have 3 6s. Do this, then split this evenly. Got it. But there still are like 3 more puzzles I have to figure out a way to get through. She's rolling a 6 every time. Not that it matters. First dice +1, second dice -1. Dice value. We need a bunch of 2s. Okay. So if I bumped the 5 up to a 6 here, and then reduce this down to a 3 here. First dice +1, second dice -1. I suppose the thing here is that I now would like to be able to do something with this 2. For this 1. There's just no way this is going to happen. Like this and this. But they've got to equal, don't they? So this and this gives me a 2. And then there's just no reason to do that at all. Or do that at all. Okay. So you almost have to assume it's this. You get a 6 and a 4. And then maybe repeat something on that. So you do this once. That way. And that's wrong, obviously. It does let me see the total value of what we're looking for. Okay. I think this is right, but maybe what I'm supposed to do is repeat the chisel twice. Okay, that gives me a couple 2s. Yeah, and again, I just don't care. I just don't care enough to try that again, but I'll try really hard to care. Okay. If I repeated it now, that would be a mistake. If you're going to repeat it, you're going to repeat it later. See, if the repeat action did work, but that was 3 uses then 2 uses. That'd be great. Well, we have no more retries. We tried. I guess I could have skipped. Okay. Repeat next action, duplicate, return the differences. We need 4 5s. Okay. Think we've done this one. So just repeating that twice, a 6 and a 5. Okay. Somehow I've done this wrong, and I've just ended up with an extra 1. Okay. Dice value +1 needs to be used twice. Pretty much means you have to have this. I could bump 1 1 into being a 2. But I kind of need another dice. The only thing I could really duplicate is a 6 or a 5 later on. Like, I kind of could do this right now. It's just get a 5 and then duplicate it twice. Okay. Yeah. Completely confused, really. Just don't see a difference here with something you could do. Like, get 2 5s now, then bump 1 up to a 6, and then I guess maybe that is it. You get 2 5s now, bump 1 to a 6, then you repeat this action, and then you duplicate this action. And really, I'm just succeeding here on dumb luck. They're at 20 health now. It's taken 45 minutes to get to this point. 2 spatulas to flip things upside down, reduce the value, and then roll a 1. We need 4s. Can't combine the dice. Alright, so first thing you have to do is this. Nothing else even makes sense. Then I can flip this into a 1, and then that would be 6 and 5, giving you a like 6 and 5, right? Yeah. So not really changing anything. Or it could be a 2 and a 5. Or we could reduce the value again. Five and 5 would give you a 6 and a 4. 6 flipped upside down wouldn't do anything. We only need 1 use of 4. So we can kind of get to that now. But to get to it, we've got to reduce things a lot. So flip this. That's a 3. Combine this. That's a 3. Reduce that. That's a 2 and a 1. Yeah, we've got to use the spanner the whole time. And it's no surprise that you only get 1 use here, is because they really are just screwing you over, so you have to do all the puzzles. 3. Flip upside down, doesn't do anything. Do that, reset. Alright. So we get this 1 to start with. I could flip the 5 into being a 2 and then get that. We need combines though. So are we not at that point really just doing this? 2 would be 3, 3 flipped upside down. Kind of need to flip everything upside down, don't we? Alright. This. Flip upside down. This. This. Yeah, I don't even think there's a way to do this. I think this very possibly is an impossible dice puzzle. Because the 3 uses of the Spanner Plus just don't seem doable. Seems like you always would run into this situation. And then you couldn't use that spanner. Last retry. Let's see. You say you did this, and then you did this. You've got 3 dices. So in that 3 turns, 3 uses, you would combine 1 and 2, then the next, then the next. So something here would have to be turned into a 6. And then you would have to also use all the cards. So, yeah. 2 and 2 would give you a 6 there. Flipped. So 2 flipped upside down would be 4. That would give you 4 and 2. Which would just give you a 6. Which wouldn't in any way end up with a 6 with just a 4. Yeah. There's no way you end up with just a 4 here. Best case scenario, I waste 1 and do that. And then like maybe waste another even doing that. And then what? Flip something upside down. Probably didn't need to waste another. Yeah. Alright, well, we'll skip. And just hope that we can do it. And see, this is just completely different, where you need 3 1s to do 20 damage. So this is very possibly the last puzzle that is in the whole run. That they're just trying to help you win. We need 3 1s. Double diced and subtract 1, max 5. We can end up with 1 6 to turn into a 3. Yeah, turn into a 1. Obviously. Otherwise, 10 minus 1 would give you a 6 and a 3, which then you could double to another 6, which you could split the dice evenly. Right. Well, we can't do double dice and we can't do this, obviously. We need to end with 3. I suppose if you were going to do this logically, you'd work backwards. So it's either split this into 2 2s, and then double a 2 into a 3, or double a 4, which would be a 6 and 2, or which would be a 6 and 1. I think that's the right move. Okay. Even number would need to be a 2. So if I flip this upside down, I couldn't combine a 1 and a 1 to get a 2. I can double a 1 into a 2. Then I can split that. And then I can flip. Well, I lucked out there. And this is just like the only content for this character at all. It's absolute garbage. There's no way I'd ever want to do it again. These puzzles do not work. Honestly, if the entire game had been puzzles like this, I would have probably just rage quit it much, much earlier in the game. And most people probably have never even seen this extra DLC 2.5 years later. But yeah, not great. And see, if this was like a mobile game where you got a puzzle a week, I could see putting out a puzzle like that, or a collection of puzzles like that that are kind of hard, but definitely skippable too. Whereas as DLC for this game, with each character being laid out as it is, it's gonna really, really suck for a lot of players if they struggled even half as much as I have here on these puzzles. So Lady Luck says, welcome back. I honestly thought that might take you longer. It was lovely to spend time with my little Maddie again. Now that I'm beloved by millions, I feel like it's my duty to give back to the next generation of ambitious young women. Just to be clear, you got your heart's desire. You're famous and beloved, and it didn't make you regret what you'd wished for? No hollowness, no gazing into the abyss of imposter syndrome, no infinite regret? Nope. And see, this isn't that a weird situation where there seems to have been some gibberish like language applied to the witch and probably some of the other characters, but they don't use it consistently, so it's like they're not actually speaking most of the time. It's been an uncomplicated delight, peppered with merch deals and brand collaborations. Oh, and I'm so happy I could come back and show you how much you meant as part of my journey. Well, I'm just glad I could help you along the way in your tiny mortal life. Yeah. And that does not spell certainly good news here as far as the robot being a level 5 difficulty. Next time, I guess we will, just audio-wise, think maybe we'll try and balance this out a little bit more. But yeah, that's all audio stuff I should have done way easier. It's also, I guess, worth pointing out here, like, what would that have been like in non-relax mode? Would she have had 250 health instead of 200 health? Possibly. That would have been easily 1 or 2 extra puzzles. And yeah, certainly I could try and do another elimination round for the 5th, 6th, 7th time, but I just don't care anymore. This game has sapped all of my ambition out of me. Noticeably, I went a lot further than most players, beating Lady Luck. Only 6% of players did it, and I must emphasize that over and over again. Only 6% of people who purchased this game made it to the credits of the main game. But yeah, this extra content is simply just breeding contempt, with that old saying, familiarity breeds contempt. I definitely did not enjoy that. And I really haven't enjoyed any of the other reunion sections either. I don't know what I really expected, but it's not much of anything. Anyways, I'm going to end up repeating myself if I keep going, so that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and get me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.